Good evening. Welcome to Genre Chat. I'm Caleb Walton, and today I'm excited to welcome Cherrilynn Bisbano back to the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Caleb. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited to have you back on the show. It's been a while since we've been able to talk and catch up. It's been about 3 or 4 months since I've actually seen you at the Writers Conference. So
I know, and we didn't really get to talk too much.
we didn't. It was so busy. But we're going to be talking tonight about book coaching, which is something that you have some experience with, and I'm hoping you could share some insight on what exactly a book coach does and when an author needs one, and how you know you're choosing the right person for your specific project. But first, talk a little bit about the different things you're currently involved in. I know you got a couple projects going, and you were a part of a compilation devotion series that came out about a year ago. So just what all are you involved in right now?
Thank you. Well, I've been blessed to be involved in 2 Bible study series with Lighthouse Bible Studies, Katie Kaufman and BB Kaufman. The first one was Breaking the Chains, and this last one was Heart Renovation. I've also been in a compilation called Get to the Margins. It's a devotion for writers who are on the edge. And the last thing that I was published in was Chicken Soup for the Soul. I've been working with Authors Community, which is strictly a Christian community online that offers any kind of service that you can think of. I'm one of their, I hate to talk about myself, but I'm one of their advisory council members. This weekend, I'm blessed to be able to be part of a panel at a local college, Holyoke College. It's not a Christian college, that's fine. I'm excited to be part of the panel. We're discussing publishing and self-promotion.
That's awesome.
It'll be exciting to meet other writers from my area. New England is so diverse, so I'm really looking forward to that.
And you're in Rhode Island, is that right?
Rhode Island, yes, New England. And this coaching thing, I never thought I'd be. When I started working with Kyle Young as one of his junior literary agents, a submissions reader, I just started talking to his clients and talking to potential clients and helping them along the way. And Del Didway, you know Del, who has, I think, 3 books out now, Dugout Devotions and some other ones. Well, 2 or 3 years ago, I was talking to him. He said, you should be a coach. And I was telling him about him. Now Kyle is his agent. He's got like 3 books.
That's amazing.
But it's a natural thing. I mean, I've spoken to you and other people. My desire is help writers obtain their publishing goals without draining their bank accounts. And I just love people. And, you know, I was a cheerleader in high school, and cheerleading is part of coaching. And that's kind of how I got into coaching. And it kind of, you know, snowballed from there. And God has me coaching John Maxwell team members, people on his personal team. I have people from England and South Africa that I coach in their writing, and I give God all the glory. It's such a blessing to see what God's doing around the world, what God has put on people's heart to write, and how I can help them and encourage them through the process. And a lot of the knowledge that I've gotten, of course, is from studying, but watching Kyle with people and other coaches. I actually have a coach who is from South Africa. He's coaching me on how to coach. So it's a great opportunity. I love it.
That's wonderful. So how does an author know when they're ready for a book coach? I mean, obviously everyone needs coaching of some sort, whether it be just going to conferences or taking classes. But I mean, how does an author know when they're ready for that in-depth of a writing process with someone?
Well, it depends on what type of coach they want. There's the cheerleader to help motivate them. Coaches can provide feedback on how and where to publish your manuscript. They can help you overcome challenges with your book. Some coaches can edit. Some can help you set goals and help you find your voice. And they can help you, determine the areas in your writing that you need help. So coaching is specific to the individual. I have some people who just want a cheerleader. I have some people want me to ghostwrite their book for them, but I can't. Because that's a whole nother avenue. But some people need hand-holding from the very beginning all the way to the end. And I like doing that. I love asking people, what do you write? What's your current project? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? There is so much to coaching. It's like being a mentor and a cheerleader and a personal trainer all at the same time.
Absolutely. And I'm sure it's exciting to watch someone go through that process to going from just an idea or from a rough first draft to having a completed novel. Now, do you do book coaching for both fiction and nonfiction, or just for nonfiction?
For both. I've done it for both. I don't do children's books. I mean, I know how to do children's book proposals and things like that, but children's books, Michelle Adams, she's the girl, Michelle Medlock Adams. If you need a book coach or some help on children's books, you contact Michelle Adams. She is the total, she knows everything, total expert. I refer everybody to her because she's she has quite a few children's books out and they're all successful. And she's a great, great person.
Yeah, she's very exciting to talk to. She has a lot of energy that I think is so crucial in that genre, especially. She's got so much energy that she just pours into everything that she does. What's the different process that you work with? I know you said it's different depending on who you're working with and the type of coaching you're doing. So where do you start when you begin coaching someone? Do you sort of help them outline? I mean, what's the first point?
Well, what I do is I ask them questions. I actually ask them to tell me about themselves. But first thing that I do is, if someone wants to coach with me, I give them a free 15-minute consult to make sure that we can work together. I say I give a free 15-minute consult because unfortunately there's people who want to just keep talking and pick your brain and get all free information. And it's not that I don't want to do that. I want to work with people who are really, really serious. And I was trained a little bit by Lisa Tenner, and she's an international book coach. She's just works with New York Times bestsellers, and she's just phenomenal. And she said, Cherrilynn, you need to time your coaching sessions, and your first free one should be no longer than 15 minutes. And don't give away information for free. I'm like, okay. So the first 15 minutes is to determine what they need from me and if I can provide it. And if they feel they can work with me, I will let them know. I'm very honest. If someone wants me to do something that I think I can't do, I won't do it. So I will say, that's not in my wheelhouse. Let me find somebody who can help you with that. Usually, most people I can help. I love working with Christians, but I have people who aren't Christians that I work with. I don't beat people over the head with the gospel, but I do because most of the books that they have are Christian based, and I can help them in that and pray for them. And there's as you know, there's a whole different dynamic when the spiritual aspect is added. But a coach can, with permission, go into that aspect with a person, because coaching is holistic. It's not just writing. There are so many things, as you know, as a writer.
Absolutely.
That that either try to steal your time, steal your joy, steal your focus, and a coach will help you get all that together. And that's what I like to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So after that first 15-minute appointment, where does it move from there if you really feel like you've made a connection with the person?
I send them a questionnaire. And the questionnaire will ask questions like this. Tell me more about yourself. What specific goals would you like to meet by working with me, the coach? What have you already done toward your goals? How will you evaluate the success of coaching? These are things that don't have to be answered right away, but these are things, coaching is like a business deal.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's a business deal. You're paying money to get expertise from a coach. You pay money to get an athletic coach. A writing coach can take you very far. So these are questions that I ask because I want to know what they're expecting of me. And one of the questions that I actually definitely ask is, what is the one thing I should do, not do, or say?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, and what are your biggest challenges and things like that. Now, I always tell, I'm very upfront, realistic, bold, but I say the truth in a kind way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a coach who also offers editing with my coaching services. There are different coaches. There's people who are just cheerleaders,
Mm-hmm.
and that is great. But there's coaches who also will do editing and help you. Say like you have a great book idea, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to format it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say like you're writing a great story. I would help you character development, plot, how long the chapters should be, how the book should be arranged. A coach can help you with that, a writing coach. So it depends on what you want. You see, there's a lot to it, right?
There's a lot to it.
Now, if somebody wants a coach, you need to interview the coach. You need to ask the coach some questions. Because unfortunately, and I've heard about some coaches out there or even editors who charge exorbitant amounts of money and they don't do anything for it. And they give bad advice.
You need to make sure you know who you're working with.
Yes. And some questions you should ask are, these are some of the questions, and do you do you believe you can help me with my needs after you have established the needs? Can you give me examples of people that you've helped who have the similar needs as I do? Do you have references? And I was just asked for some of my references by a potential client. Some of the people that I have coached don't want their names out there or their book titles, because these books have not been published and they're being shopped. And so you have to be, when you ask for references, if the coach says, well, I can't give you names, you should be, be respectful of that. After the book's published, after it's, on the shelves or on Amazon, then it's okay. But you have to be a little bit careful, because fortunately in this world, people steal ideas, book titles, and things like that. But one of the biggest things, what do you charge? How long is a session? Do you do bulk sessions, and do you guarantee coaching? Now,
Guaranteed coaching, what is that? Like a guarantee that you will get published, or?
Well, I want to quote Carol Tice. You know who Carol Tice is? Carol
I
Tice
don't
is
believe I'm familiar with her.
Carol Tice has a blog called makingalivingwriting.com, and she is just phenomenal writer coach. She does a lot out there, and a coach can't really guarantee anything, because if the person they're coaching isn't willing to follow the advice, you know. But Carol Tice is one of the only coaches I know that guarantees her coaching, because her students follow a 6-week step-by-step system, and it's a reliable system, and it's worked for hundreds of writers. So she didn't guarantee.
And of course, she can also use, as long as you follow the process.
That's what she
you
say.
can't start it and then drop off eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't guarantee mine, because I have people I coach that, I mean, some people that I've coached have taken farther than they thought they could go, and others, they don't want to put in the work. They want me to do all the work. It's not my book, it's their book. But
that's also a good thing to keep in mind, especially if you're new to working with the book coach, is that you're not hiring a ghostwriter. You're not hiring someone to do the hard work for you. You're hiring someone to hold your hand and sort of give you some guidance. Because mainly who was it? I forget who I heard say it, but they were talking about how writing a book is a team effort, and most of the times the writer is the one doing most of the grunt work.
Yes, that sounds like something like Steve Laby or
possible
Nelson or Bob Hostetler would say.
But people think of writing as a glamorous job, and parts of it can be glamorous if you're successful, but most of it is late at night sitting in your pajamas in front of the computer writing something that you're probably going to hate the next day.
I'm doing a book proposal and coaching. She's a friend of mine as well as a believer, but she's doing a Bible study. I won't mention names, but she's just coming to the realization of how hard writing really is. You can write, but to be a good writer is hard, because you got to rewrite, edit, rewrite. It's hard. So, but I'm sure the people watching want to know how much coaches charge.
Yes, well, I was wondering.
Yeah, 75. I was looking this up online, but $75 to $150 an hour. But there are other coaches who can get up to $350 an hour.
So you want to make sure that you are invested in it and that you pick the right coach, because it is an investment, and I'm sure it's worth it if that's what it's going to take to get your book published. Having that in-depth writing process with someone, but you need to make sure that you're invested and that the other person is invested, so that it's not a waste of resources. Right.
And I'm so glad you said that, Caleb, because it's not spending money, it's an investment. It's an investment in your career. And if you're a writer and you set yourself up as a business, you can write that coaching off.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of things, editing, things like that are going to cost a certain amount of money. So it's not like this is the only thing you're going to be having to spend money on in order to do something and do it right. You're going to have to make certain investments. It's just a matter of figuring out whether that's the particular pathway that's going to work right for you.
Now, I can share with you a few ways that you can afford coaching. Lisa Tenner has helped me out a great deal. She actually has done work with Jerry Jenkins. It's Lisa, Tenner. She's phenomenal. She refers some of her Christian clients to me, and I just feel blessed that she does that. But she said in one of her articles at lisatenner.com, if you want to get some great information, there's so much great information out there. She said that one of her coaching friends had 3 people pitch in and pay for a 1-hour coaching session, and they all got on the session. 3 hours, because, you know, it is worth the money. It really is. If you up front tell your coach what you're looking for, and you and your coach can work well together, and your coach can guide you, and your coach can give you the information that you need and answer your writing questions, and to top it off, maybe even help you with some editing, it's worth the money.
Absolutely.
It really is. What I did was I kind of just fell into coaching. I have a leadership degree. I have a communications degree. Kyle Young has helped me out a lot. And working in the industry in the last 4 years has helped me. But I wanted to learn how to coach. I know how to talk to writers, and I know how to get them to go down the path and encourage them, but I wanted to become a better coach. Well, I traded with a coach in South Africa, my book coaching for his life coaching. We help each other. So money doesn't exchange hands. We just take turns coaching each other and helping one another. So if you really want a coach and you can't afford it, maybe you can, you know, bargain or barter for it.
And honestly, I've heard that a lot with different things in the industry, especially for new writers or some people that have a certain amount of experience and a certain amount of knowledge in writing in one area, they will barter it for other things. And there's several people that I know will do that when it comes to editing, publicity, things like that. And it's good because it helps everyone out. So you are exchanging a very valuable asset. It's just, it's not hands-on cash. So it's you can work a little bit more with your schedule and with your budget. So I know several people that have done that very successfully.
I'm doing that in another aspect. I'm helping a writer. I'm giving her a free book proposal, and she's helping me create my author website. So, I mean, I have a website, but it really needs work. So, I mean, don't be afraid to do that. But Caleb, I believe everybody needs a coach at a certain time in their writing. Even if you can't afford a professional coach, get somebody who's going to give you a kick in the pants and help you. Get somebody who's going to be honest with you. Somebody who has taken the journey before. You know?
We call those accountability buddies.
Yes.
That's something someone in our Bible study group came up with, and we've used that. Someone that's going
to. Again, I love it.
Someone that's going to yell at you if you don't write.
Yes. But it's coaching. We all need that. We all need coaching. We all need somebody to cheer us on. We need somebody to give us a kick in the pants to keep on schedule. Somebody to help us focus. Somebody to get us out of the pit when we get a rejection. You know, somebody to remind us of our calling. And that's what a coach does. And, you know, I may be a little bit different as a coach. The reason why I like coaching Christians is because of the spiritual aspect. But I become friends, and I make lifelong friends. And, you know, up front, I say to them, if it's between the business and our relationship, Christ comes first. And so there's a difference between opinions in the business relationship. We'll split, go our ways in the business, and we'll go on in the relationship. But the world doesn't work that way. The world does not work that way. So you really, if you're looking for a coach, you make sure you get references from other people. You make sure that that you can work with them. You know, you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because both people, both partners in the business relationship need each other. I mean, the coach obviously needs clients, and the client needs a coach that's going to work with them. So it is a definite team effort.
It is. That is so correct. And one thing I love about being a coach is I get asked questions and I may not know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? I'm going to look that answer up for you, and the next time we get together, I'll let you know, or I'll email it to you. And because another thing to look for in a coach is someone who summarizes what you've discussed in your 45-minute, 1 hour, 30-minute session. They should be sending, this is what I do, and this is what Lisa Tenner does and others. You should be sending a follow-up email. And a coach who doesn't just, a coach who takes a personal interest in your book. If the coach doesn't like your book, then maybe you should find a different coach.
I'm trying to remember. I think it may have been, oh goodness, who was it? It was someone that we both know. I can't remember the name. That the book coach, she calls herself the book midwife.
Oh, okay. Yep. I can't remember her name either.
It may have been Yolanda, possibly.
Yes. I think it
is
was
her. She calls herself the book midwife because she said it has to be. You have to be that invested.
Oh, I love it. And make sure your coach understands the genre. I mean, I coach in fiction and nonfiction and memoir, because memoir is like a bit of both. And I don't coach in children's books, how-to books, things like that. But if your coach has never done your genre before, I would find another coach, unless you're confident.
Well, because every genre is so much different. Every genre is different. Every genre needs a lot of experience.
I mean, even in fiction, there's spec fic, there's romantic, there's romance, there's historical fiction. I mean, and all the subgenres. I was on Amazon the other day, and I'm looking at all the subgenres, and I'm like, oh my, because I do book proposals, and I'm thinking, this is like so specific.
There's a lot. I was looking even, and honestly, even some of them could be expanded is the strange thing. I can't remember if it was either science fiction or thriller novels or something I was looking at, and I could even come up with a few other subgenres that they don't list, but they are so extensive in stuff that I wouldn't even think about. But you have to think, these topics have to go somewhere. There's a lot under science fiction that goes into
dystopian. There's so many. But definitely get a coach that's familiar with your genre.
Exactly.
Because I remember one of my clients gave me their manuscript, and somebody had changed all the names and said they were wrong. But this was like a science fiction, dystopian type, futuristic novel. And these were names that the writer made up. And that's why she came to me, because she knew I understood, if that's a name that you made up, you don't change it to what Grammarly thinks it should be.
Exactly. Because you're following your own language. It's a whole different thing with world building and things like that.
Well, that's a whole nother show for you.
Absolutely.
We should brainstorm more shows. And if somebody wants to become a writing coach, definitely coaches are needed. And I became a coach out of obedience, because I want to help writers, and I don't charge as much as most coaches do. And if you do find a coach that you really, really want to work with, and they charge more than you can afford, ask them if you can only do 30 minutes or 45 minutes, or if there's a way that they could maybe give you a discount, because some will. Don't make the money an issue, because it's like you so eloquently said before, it's an investment. It's an investment in writing. It's like I mean, you and I have been privileged to meet some of the best writers at writing conferences, and
Hmm.
they pour into us while we're there. And you come out with so much knowledge.
And
But
that's
you
something
can't get
I always recommend to anybody that has not already done this. Go to a writer's conference, even if it's a 1 or 2 day conference, because you make connections, and there's so much. You don't know how much you don't know until you go to a conference and are, just plunged into that environment, and you just soak it up. And it's very overwhelming, and it can be very stressful.
And it's having like 50 writing coaches at your
Yes,
fingertips to talk to. I mean, not all the time, but it's like having a writing coach there with you to coach you
absolutely,
through it. So
absolutely.
my suggestion, if you want a writing coach, is first find out what you need a writing coach for. And if you don't even know, you can pay someone to talk to you for 30 minutes to an hour just to brainstorm why you think you need a writing coach, or what genre you want to write in, or what are your good qualities, what are your strengths, time management. There's so much out there. And also
Mhm.
Google Google, if you don't want to, if you can't afford a writing coach, or if you don't know if you're ready, there's so many articles on the different writing blogs, and some of them I was just telling you about with Carol Tice's blog, makingalivingwriting.com. Oh,
Mhm.
makealivingwriting.com.
Yep.
Makealivingwriting.com. And Lisa Tenner's blog, we'll talk about that too, lisatenner.com. I'm sure Serious Writer has stuff on coaching. There's the Right
Mhm.
Conversation. Isn't that Edie Melson's blog?
Mhm. One of the blogs, yeah.
There's so many people. I'm sure Bethany Jett has stuff on
Mhm.
coaching. Bethany Jett, she's with Serious Writer, and she is also with Platinum Literary. Her and Michelle Adams, they are so wonderful, and they will help you with your questions as well. There's
Absolutely.
so much free stuff out there, but I do believe everybody should have a coach. I think coaches should have a coach. And if you can't afford it, find someone who will maybe do it for you and trade for something,
Mhm.
because you need somebody there. I know I need somebody to give me a kick in the butt. Can I say that?
Yes, you can. I completely agree. No, I'm one of those people that will procrastinate and make excuses until I actually am made to sit down and do it. Now, once I'm there, I'm good. Once I actually start, I'm good. But it's actually making myself sit down, and that's one of the challenges for the extroverted writer.
That's you and I. We're extroverted writers, and most writers are
Exactly.
introverted. But and like Jerry Jenkins says, writing is not a hobby. So if you don't want writing to be a hobby, you need to schedule time for writing. And I believe that Writers Chat has a video with Dirk Schwartz,
Mhm.
DIRKSWRTZ, Dirk Schwartz, on how to add stuff to your life, like writing, how to schedule writing, how to start
Mhm.
something new. And so that's Writers Chat, correct? And I think that's on Serious Writer, or is that at Writers
Yes,
Chat?
that is on Serious Writer, Writers Chat. As a matter of fact, Tina Yeager, a good friend of ours, I think works with that, hosts that show.
So it's Bethany Jett.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why can't I think? Her mom. Okay, my brain is fried because it's in the late afternoon.
We'll list them in the websites and the name.
thing that you already do. Like if you have coffee at 6 a.m., get your coffee, 15 minutes, add it. But it's very good. It's a really, really, it's well worth the hour of listening or gleaning from it.
That's wonderful. And what website is that?
That's Writer's Chat, and his name is Dirk Schwartz. But you can always go to his website too, Dirk, SWARTZ. Yeah, that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's my coach, actually. He's really good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming back on the show. I'm really excited to look into these different websites. I was looking for some other podcasts to listen to and some other shows. It's a wonderful thing to do when you're doing, and I'm one of those people that absorbs information better when I'm multitasking. So if you're cleaning or if you're driving, it's a great thing to listen to and to glean from. So I'm excited to check those out. But before we go, is there any last minute words of wisdom you'd like to share?
No, just thank you for having me on. And if anybody wants a coach, you can just contact me at editor@therightproposal.com, WRITE proposal.com. And I can refer you as well if I'm not the right coach for you. And thank you, Caleb. And I have to say, I love your haircut.
Thank you.
Get that in there.
I haven't seen you all. I got a different haircut about 3 or 4 months ago, actually. But thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.